Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we are back again, this time with a Sinister Labs video, and throughout the entire month I'll probably be posting quite a few of these because we're always going to be doing these with 4 stars and rank 3 5 stars only. We can try and vary our teams. There are probably going to be some champions you see more, some champions who pop in occasionally, but anyways, this time we went with Carnage, Quake, Archangel, Ronan and Void, just because I think they are well-rounded team and cover me on a lot of bases. We're starting first off with Drax on this power struggle Bane node. Reason why I thought Carnage would be fairly good again in this matchup is because of his unblockable specials if opponent is bleeding, so I should have like extended window where I can get openings. Now power struggle node is a bit annoying, but typically like opponents get more power than we do anyway, so now I made a mistake and I ate a headbutt trying to be too aggressive, so we are left with 8% health, which is not looking good for us. However, if we do manage to stay aggressive, get some good Bane transfers, we should be fine. We nailed a good intercept there, perfect Bane transfer. Level 1, our damage output, as Carnage always does, is ramping up slowly. So hopefully we can close this fight out relatively well. Once again, we got the Bane on us that did one tick, but we did a stand-up intercept, so we got lucky there. We got it off us just in time to survive. And now he throws his level 2. We're gonna get in another good Bane transfer, and the Drax is about to go down. So yeah, first fight, nothing too special. I did make a mistake and pretty much lost an entire champion there in that fight, which kind of annoyed me. We're off to a bad start here, guys. So next fight is going to be Psylocke, Arc Overload, Buff Duration, and Aspect of Chaos. Now I saw Aspect of Chaos, and I was like, maybe I can heal up my Carnage here. So basically the point is try and steal Psylocke's health. Unfortunately, it will not go exactly down the script as we hope it would. So we do start with the bleed just to get that power gain going, and there we messed up and intercept and ate a hit, and that's it. So Carnage is down for the count. We're left with 4 champs. Hopefully you can squeeze through. I do not intend to use any items in any of these runs. This is like my first attempt, and that is going to be the basic rule, kind of like no item 4-star and rank 3 5-star clears only. So now, just to deal with that Aspect of Chaos, Archangel is kind of like a solid option because we can heal block, basically neurotoxins heal block them. We will lose health as well as the health shifts. However, she is not going to be able to gain any of our health. So we're just basically going to take a huge chunk of health loss here just in order to finish this fight out. As we can see here, neurotoxins are doing solid amount of job. Now the way Aspect of Chaos will work now, while she's under neurotoxin, she can lose health if I'm at lower health than she is, but she can never gain any health because technically she's heal blocked and Aspect of Chaos is classed as healing. So basically, slowly but surely, we are losing our health as she is losing hers, and that's about it. So now we are at 27%, she's at 11%, has some neuros working on her. Hopefully we can kill her before we transfer it again. And yeah, so 27% left on Archangel. So first couple of fights don't look too bad. I mean, don't look too good. We still have a fair amount of fights to go through. And I don't know at this point if we're able to make it. Now here I'm looking at role reversal, fisticuffs and stuff like that, and I'm thinking I need some abusable node. So here is where we're gonna use our only reroll in this video. So we're gonna try and get something cheesable. And we got Icarus. And Icarus is perfect just because Ronan can do a lot of good stuff on Icarus as well. The way Ronan can work is because he can continuously stun opponents for a prolonged period of time and therefore remain totally aggressive. He can get a lot of furies going on for him. Now, unfortunately, one thing I did kind of forget about is that the degen is in fact an active debuff, and Void will hurt us. He will hurt us bad. So this is going to be a race against the time. Basically, we want to get to nearly 2 bars of power and then start smacking in this guy as hard as we can. So here we're going to finish off the combo, shoot off our level 1, and off we go. We're 13, 14, 15 furies, many furies going on. Our damage output is going up and up and up. 22k level 1, which is not bad at all. 19 furies, and here we go. We're finishing the fight out, and Ronan is at 25% at this point. Next, we have Stealth Suit SpiderMan, which hopefully we can deal with just fine. We only have 2 healthy champions remaining, which is Void and Quake. So now let's take a look at nodes, and we're seeing Aggression Regeneration, which is perfect. That is something we can abuse with Void. So the plan is here to be fairly passive in the first part of the fight, let some debuffs stack up on him, and then just simply let him build that aggression regeneration charges and die by himself, basically. So hopefully in this case I'm hoping that aggression regeneration is going to do my job for me. So we're dropping a level 1. We don't see any petrifies yet, which is not a good sign, but you know what it is, you always play a bit of an RNG lottery with Void in what debuffs you're gonna get. So we have 3 debuffs, 2 unique ones, no petrify, it's still healing, not looking too good for us at this point, and we're slowly but surely also getting cornered, so that is something we're gonna have to be careful about, not to get hit. Now we are going to spend a lot of this fight in corner trying to dodge his heavy attacks, because I do not want to hit him, because that will remove aggression regeneration stacks. But at this point we got our first petrify, he's already starting to lose health. If we get one more petrify, and we didn't. This is like pretty much almost the worst RNG we could have gotten, but still he's degening, and he's degening fair amount, and the more time passes, the more health is he losing. So he's at 22 aggression regen stacks, and we can see he's absolutely melting away at this point. We got second petrify, and he's down in seconds. So we are somehow managing to pull this one back. We only have Carnage knocked out, rest of the champions are still in fighting order. Now we have Luke Cage, and had like life transfer and close relationship on it. I'm just trying to check what is the next node on Dr. Octopus. But here I am going to speed up the footage, because this fight is going to be fairly long. I just decided to kind of heal up my Void in this fight, and with that armor up, it's actually not all that easy to gain health back. With close encounters and life transfer, we are degening quite fast, so we do need hope he throws his special attacks just fine. But as we can see, slowly but surely our health is going up, his health is going down, so all is well, life is as it should be. We are using this node to our advantage, so we are happy we did get that life transfer to kind of heal us up for a bit. Now I think at one point he's gonna get stingy with his level 2, so we're not gonna finish with like max health up, but still we're gonna be able to recover some health overall. So as you can see, 130 hits in, and we are closing in on finishing this fight. So there we go, we finished at 72%, which is better what we started, therefore it's all good enough. Now boss has particle protector and micro reflect and all that fun and interactive stuff, so we are going to just basically throw champs at him, hopefully to kill him, because I did not want to go in with Quake, and there's going to be a good reason for it. I have pretty much never used Quake against this Dr. Octopus, and his tentacles does mess me up. We're going to see it in the video in a few seconds. So Archangel eventually dies to particle protector. Now I'm just going to decide who I drop in next. I think I'm going with Ronan, so we can deal as much damage as we can with this guy before he gets KO'd, and then we're going to take in Quake, and I believe finish with Void. So yeah, Quake, I don't know what it is about Dr. Octopus. His animations are just so hard to read sometimes. Definitely need more practice in this matchup. So I'm gonna get clipped fair amount. So here was the first hit that already took 43% of my health away, but we're still managing to deal him some damage. So now we're at 18%, and the things are tight as I can be, so I can't make any more slip ups. I did end up parrying him there, and 17% health us, 35 for him, and eventually he's gonna catch me again. So yeah, definitely not my kind of favorable Quake matchup, I suppose. So we are on our last champion here, Void, against this Dr. Octopus, and we're just gonna kind of try and slow play it, because micro reflect is still in game, so we can't hit him really all that much, because he can glance and we take damage, and we just want debuffs to do the work for us. So we kind of want to parry, drop some level 1s, and just overall stall till he dies, and then we're gonna be clear with no items for the first lane. Now second lane is gonna go smoother than this one. This one was like when I was still kind of waking up. It definitely had morning brain on me at that point, but yeah, so he's at 4%, nearly done. We're just gonna let Void finish off with a level 1. The fight is over, nothing overly complicated, no items used, and we're done here. So now we're going back in with the same team. First fight is Black Bolt, and we're gonna check out the notes on him in a second. So he has Masochism, Aggression, Fury, and Safeguard. Now, the strategy here is going to be to take in Ronin, because first of all, it's not overly difficult opponent, but Black Bolt gets buffs on himself. So if he has a bunch of buffs, I can drop like a really long stun on him. Problem is Masochism, because that might like cancel my stun out. However, I am running Resonate Mastery, so that is occasionally going to help me to trigger Masochism early. We do need to remember that Ronin also purifies his like Furies and stuff with his level 1s. So we do need to be careful when we go kind of like all in. So first, I'm just going to try and build some more buffs on that guy, not get hit too much, I suppose, and just deal basically as much damage as we can. So we can see here I dropped 2 level 1s, and each of them purified either a Cruelty or Fury buff, and now he's only at 1 buff, so my stun duration is not going to be all that extended. So the plan here is going to be let him build up some buffs first and then go to town with him while he's under some super long stuns. But yeah, that is going to be a good time overall, but we need to get there. So now we need to keep an eye on Aggression, Fury. Do not let him build up Fury buffs. Other than that, it's fairly straightforward fight. Masochism does heal him up so, but overall we're still dealing damage. And yeah, that's about it. So he's nearly at 3 bars of power. I decided not to push at this point. We're gonna prolong the fight, we're gonna bait out his special, and then we're gonna keep on going. Luckily for me, he's starting to gain some decent amount of buffs. He has 4 Furies, 1 Cruelty, so it's looking good for Ronan to be able to kind of like drop a really long stun on him. And that's more or less why I took Ronin in the first place, because I was hoping for some explosive personality nodes which Ronin can completely cheese, some resistor, adapt to, or just some champions with many buffs, so I'm able to constantly stun lock them. So see, at this point he's at 2 Cruelties, 6 Furies, his stun is already extremely long, so I think we're pretty much good to go there. I don't remember if I keep him stun locked from this point on, or yeah, so that's what we're doing. Only thing that we do need to kind of be careful about is make sure that we trigger Masochism before we use our special attack, so the stun actually sticks. And yeah, so the fight is nearly over here. Ronin's absolutely dismantling this guy at this point, has absolutely no chance there. So, and then we're moving on to the next fight. Next fight is going to be quite an annoying one. So this guy has Special Luck 1, Backlash Pulse, and Encroaching Stun. So Backlash Pulse is going to deal us damage every time when we get buffed, basically. So we can't use any buffing champions, and also Encroaching Stun makes it even more difficult because we need to time our special attacks. So the strategy here is going to be Quake, and we're going to parry heavy him, and that basically would take care of Backlash Pulse. Because if we do not dex, we do not get any buffs, because Quake doesn't have any buffs of her own, and we are having a good time. Now, problem is Encroaching Stun. With Encroaching Stun, if we are charging heavy attack, if opponent's under concussion debuff, while the timer expires, we do not get stunned. However, if we don't time it perfectly, we will get stunned and we will get punched in the face. Now, the good bit here is Special Lock 1, because at this point we are power locked and we are getting willpower heal. So this is kind of like a bit of a dodgy matchup. It's taking a bit of a time, but Quake can certainly do it. And now later on in the fight, I kind of position my aftershocks pretty much perfectly, that I can make sure that he is always in fact under stun effect when Encroaching Stun expires. That means I can charge my heavy attack, that means we're safe. So now I just need to basically not get hit in the face. We are dealing with Encroaching Stun just fine, and we're going to be able to close this fight out relatively easily, and that was pretty much the best kind of option I could come up with the champions that I had available. So next we are moving on to Mordor, and Mordor, as we know, is always a bit of a pain in the bottom to fight. So he has Stupefy, Burden of Might, and Aggression Armor, so the nodes aren't bad. We just need to kind of make sure that we control his power and we're going to be fine. And that's why we're going to be taking in Void, because Void should be having like a really great matchup here. Just because of his Petrified debuffs, we can prevent him from gaining any power. And other than that, we're not really all that kind of fast about losing power whenever we are dexing, because the debuffs are going to still be stacking up. and we have class advantage, so we have a lot of kind of good things going on for us in this fight. We just need to kind of play it safe, play it stable, and make sure he doesn't get 3 bars of power, and we're good. Aside from that, we don't have much to worry about. Obviously, we do need to be careful of Mordor's astral evade, so if we do happen to parry him, we need to remember not to try and punish that. And other than that, this is like a fairly easy node combination to deal with, and I was fairly happy to see it. So we do manage to drop a level 1 on him as well to gain some few more debuffs. So now we have 2 petrifies, he has absolutely no power gain, and yeah, so Void has this under control. And there's nothing like much else to this fight. You all guys know what Void does and the way his damage works. We just need to kind of bring this fight home, make sure we finish healthy in case we need Void for that final MODOK boss. Because as I was doing this fight, I was kind of keeping in my mind that the final boss is going to be MODOK, and I was hoping for like a good node combination. Now when it comes to dealing with MODOK, I think I bought like good amount of champions that can deal with him well, because we have Void, we have Archangel, we have Quake, so depending on nodes we're going to pick our champion to use. But here we're back in the fight, so we're 73 hits in. The fight is almost closing out. He's at like 20% health. We have Fear's Void active, a bunch of debuffs, got everything going for us, can't complain. Last 14%, so now we're in Assassin's range, about to close this fight out. And yeah, fairly good time overall. We're gonna finish it on 77%. We took a bit more block damage than I would have liked to, but still, it's not too bad. We're relatively healthy. So now we have like Diablo and Jane Foster after that. Now these guys are going to be fairly easy. This has Aggression, Cruelty, Special Lock 1 and Close Encounters. So I decided to bring in Archangel. And the basic idea is that we can use that Special Lock 1 once again to kind of like keep us power locked, to trigger willpower and offset some damage we're getting from close encounters, because we will be degening throughout this fight because of that node. But once we get level 1, we're going to be able to mitigate that damage like a fair amount, so hopefully we should be able to finish this fight out fairly healthy. And in addition to that, obviously Diablo is not poison or bleed immune, and that means Archangel can deal absolute shed loads of damage to him. Now we're not having the best RNG over there. We have no bleeds currently going for him and only 1 neurotoxin, but still we're gonna be able to get some of those toxins up, and this fight is not gonna last for much longer. So now we dropped a heavy, he's on 3 bleeds. We need him to drop a hit in our block so we can start placing more neuros on him. As we can see, we are degening, but willpower heal is kind of helping us with that Special Lock 1. And that is pretty much it. This fight is about to be over because he's on 3 neurotoxins. There's an active poison buff, which we are going to convert to some more neuros. Now he's on 5 and he's losing health rapidly. There's nothing much to worry about. We just need to try and stay close to him. So we finished this fight with 89% on Archangel. Super happy about that. Couldn't have gone much better, I think. Now we need to deal with Jane Foster. And this lady has Force of Will, Back Blast and Soft Guard. So Soft Guard don't really care, Force of Will don't really care, Back Blast I don't really think we should be too worried if we don't do some massive hits, because that's the Incinerate node from Act 6 Chapter 2 Quest 2, I believe. So I decided to take in Carnage because Carnage has class disadvantage, so with class disadvantage it's not really likely for me to go over the 5% mark. Also, additionally, Carnage's damage is kind of spread around his damage over time debuffs and multiple hits on his level 1. So long as we stay away from level 2, which can hit really hard, we should be fine without triggering that Back Blast. Now, I will make a slip up there at some point. I will eat a level 1 that will nearly kill me, like once again. Just can't catch a break in some of the Carnage fights. But other than that, the fight is fairly simple. Just need to spam our level 1s, build up some buffs in order to build up some damage, and make sure she has at least 1 Fury on her at all times. And yeah, good time all around. Now, while this fight is going on in the background, I want to ask you guys, leave a comment in the comment section if you enjoyed this video and if you would like to see some more of these Sinister labs posted, perhaps daily, perhaps a couple times a week. using my 4 stars and rank 3 5 stars only, or if you think you're gonna get bored of them and it's a bad idea or something like that, leave me a comment, let me know whether you want to see these videos, because I'd be more than happy to make these, because I am actually having a really great time in these Sinister labs. I enjoy the event as a whole. But now that we have Thor, Jane Foster taken care of, we have final boss MODOK. Let's quickly take a look at his buffs. Aspect of Evolution, heal, block, all or nothing. So I was thinking maybe I should re-roll it, but then I took a look at my champions, and all of my champions were relatively healthy, so I was like, I can probably just get him down. And we're gonna go in with the Archangel, and we're gonna deal as much damage as we can before he drops level 3 on us, and then we're gonna finish this fight out with Void, I believe. So first things first, obviously we want to build a bunch of neuros. Now I want him to hit me a bunch of times in my block, not just once. We want to get a few more hits in, so we get more poisons on him, more neuros going, more damage before he gets the 3 bars of power. So now he is at 3 poisons, perfect. 4 poisons, we can spam some heavy attacks, get some bleeds, get some neuros, deal some good amount of damage, and yeah, so we're dealing basically, we're doing the best we can at this point. Unfortunately, he's nearly at 3 bars of power, so we kind of need to slow down and bait out time. But still, 44%, 43%, we haven't done bad amount. I'm more than happy with what we taken off him, because I still have 4 healthy champions to finish him off. So at this point, he's at 3 bars of power. We're doing our best to dish out as much damage as we possibly can. There's a neuro going, but now he decides to throw his level 3 at 20%. Not much I can do there about this anymore, so we just need to eat that level 3, die in peace, and take a next champion and come back in. So in this case, it's going to be Void. Because yeah, Void has damage over time debuffs. I can just stall out the fight as long as I have to, in order for him to basically drop down. And yeah, now the one problem is obviously I'm gonna be taking like a big parry damage, so I do need to be careful not to take too much chip damage. But overall, 20% of that MODOK versus like 60% of my remaining Void is not gonna be too bad of a time. So we got first debuff. Every time we place a stun on him, we also deal additional damage, because that's how Void's abilities work. We deal damage per each unique debuff. Stun is a unique debuff, so parrying him actually is helping me with my damage output. But aside from that, I think this is going to be me more or less done for today. So yeah, guys, if you liked this video, please do leave a comment in comment section to let me know if you want to see more of this, or you don't want to see any more Sinister labs, or you think it's gonna get old quick, or just let me know what you're thinking. How do you like this event in general as well? And yeah, aside from that, like, share, subscribe, do that, all that good stuff. Hit that notification bell to stay notified, and I am going to catch you guys really soon. See ya.